Alright, so in this video we're going to be going over linear equations, and we're just going to kind of continue from our previous video, and we're going to talk about converting between different forms of linear equations. So we have our slope-intercept form, our point-slope form, and our standard form. So let's quickly go over those three different forms of equations really quickly. So we have the slope-intercept form. This is the one that we've been working with the most, and the one that we're most familiar with more than likely. This one is just y equals mx plus b. Okay. Then we have our point slope form. Point slope. This one again is just y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Okay, where y1 and x1 are just points that are given to you. And then finally we have the standard form. Standard form is kind of the outlier in terms of what it looks like. It's just ax plus by equals c, and usually a, b, and c, they're just numbers, but usually they're integers, so you're not going to have any fractions or decimals here. Okay. And quickly going over slope-intercept form, this one gives us slope in our y-intercept. Our point-slope form gives us a slope and a point on the line, and then our standard form makes it easy to find the x and y-intercepts. Okay, so let's go over how to switch between these specific forms as well. So let's say that I give you some sort of an equation in slope-intercept form. Okay, and this equation looks like this. It's y equals negative 2 over 3x plus 7 over 6. Okay, so this is in fact in slope-intercept form. It has y equals mx plus b. Okay, so it's in slope-intercept form, and I want to convert it into point-slope form. Okay, so let's call that PS, point-slope form. So what do I need to do here in order to get it into point-slope form? Well, right now it's in the form of y equals mx plus b, and I want it to be in the form of y minus something equals m times something, right? That being y1 and x minus x1. So really I'm looking to get my y's on one side and my x's on the other side at the end of the day, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to get my y's on the left hand side, my x's on the right hand side, and then I'm also going to move over my 7 over 6 to the y side as well. So I'm going to have y minus 7 over 6 is equal to negative 2 over 3x. Okay? And now this is actually pretty much your final answer, because this is equal to y minus y1, right? Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. In this case, x1 is just 0, right? This can be written as x minus 0 if we wanted to, right? And now you see if it's the form of y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so it does fit the form for our point slope equation, and it's not too difficult to do. Really, all you have to do is bring over your y-intercept to the left-hand side, and you have the equation in point slope form. And then let's go over if we want it in standard form. Okay, so you can either go from slope-intercept to point slope to standard, or you can go straight from slope-intercept to standard form. Doesn't really matter, which way you tend to do it. But again, all we're trying to do here is we're trying to get this kind of form of ax plus by equals c. Okay, so we need um, something times x plus something times y is equal to some constant. And again, that's not too difficult to get. We already have something times y here given to us in the slope-intercept form. So we have 1 times y, then we have negative 2 over 3 times x, and we have a constant here. Okay, so I'm just going to move the x's and y's to the left-hand side of the equal sign and leave the constants on the right-hand side. And when I do that, I'm going to get 2 over 3x, okay, plus 1y, or just y, is equal to 7 over 6. And this is technically in standard form. If we want to be, really proper about it, we want to get rid of these fractions. So we're going to multiply this whole thing. Every term in this equation, we're going to multiply by 6 just to get rid of any sort of fractions. And basically what we're going to get is we're going to get 2 over 3 times 6. So we're going to get the 3 and the 6 are going to simplify, and we're going to get 4. We'll get 4x plus 6y equal, and then the 6 and the 6 here cancel out, and we're left with 7. So in standard form, in proper standard form, it would be 4x plus 6y equals 7. Okay? So that's changing between slope-intercept, point-slope, and standard form. Now let's move on, and I'll give you an equation in point-slope form. Okay? And this equation is going to be y plus 1 equals 5 over 4 times x minus 2. And let's try and get that in slope-intercept form. Okay. Now getting it into slope-intercept form isn't really too difficult. All we have to do is kind of expand and simplify. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get y alone on the left-hand side. So we're going to have y is equal to 5 over 4 times x minus 2 minus 1. And now we're going to simplify this. So we're going to have y is equal to 5 over 4x minus 5 over 4 times negative 2 is going to get us a negative, and then the 4 and the 2 will simplify, and we'll get 5 over 2 minus 1. And hopefully you can see kind of where this is going. We're going to have y equals 5 over 4x, and then minus, we have negative 5 over 2 minus 1, so that's going to be negative 7 over 2. And now we have our slope-intercept form. Okay, so y equals mx plus b. And then finally, let's convert it to standard form. So again, going into standard form, all we're going to do is we're going to go straight from our point slope form again. I don't want to have these intermediate steps, so I'm going to try and do everything from what is originally given to us. So we have our point slope form, and we want to go directly into standard form. So again, all I'm going to do is I'm going to get my x's and y's on one side, and then I'm going to simplify. Okay, so I'm going to have y uh, equals, we'll do 5 over 4, I'm going to expand this, x minus 5 over 2 minus 1, similar to what we did here for the slope-intercept form, but I'm just going to redo it again, and now I'm going to move over my x's and y's to one side. So when I do that, I'm going to get negative 5 over 4x plus y is equal to, and then on the right hand side we're going to have our constant, and from converting to slope-intercept form we know that's equal to negative 7 over 2. Again, if you didn't know, you could just do that math. And now we're just getting rid of the fractions again, so we're going to multiply this whole thing by 4. So every term is getting multiplied by 4. This first one's going to be negative 5x. The second one is going to be plus 4y. And then the constant here on the right hand side of the equal sign is just going to be minus 14. Okay, so that's what it is in proper standard form. And finally, let's say that I give you an equation in standard form. Okay, and that equation is going to be something like 3x minus 4y equals 8. And let's say that I want to convert that into slope-intercept form. Okay, so how am I going to do that? Again, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So again, I'm just going to move things around. I'm going to have negative 4y is equal to negative 3x plus 8. So now I have my y on my left hand side, my x and my constant on the right hand side. Now all I need to do is divide by 4, and I'm going to get y is equal to negative 3 divided by negative 4 is just going to be 3 over 4x. And then it's going to be 8 divided by negative 4 is going to be a negative. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay? And so we get y is equal to 3 over 4x minus 2 for our slope-intercept form. And then finally, we need our point slope. Okay? So again, in point slope, we're trying to get y plus a constant, or y minus a constant, equals m times x, okay, or m times x minus another constant. Okay, so I want my y and I want a constant on the left hand side, and I want everything with an x on the right hand side. So all I'm going to do from the standard form is I'm going to take negative 4y. There's my y. I also want a constant there, so I'm going to bring over this 8 that's on the right hand side to the left hand side. It's going to become minus 8. And then I want my x on the right hand side, so that's going to become negative 3x. Okay, so that's the first step. The next step is to just kind of simplify this and make it look the way we want it to look, right? So I need y minus some number is equal to m times x minus some number, okay? So this y, I don't want it to be negative 4y, I just want it to be y. So I'm going to divide everything by negative 4, and I'm going to get y, again, negative divided by negative. This time we're going to get a positive. 8 divided by 4 is 2, is equal to negative divided by a negative is going to be a positive, so this is going to be 3 over 4x. And again, this fits the point slope form, because remember the point slope form is y minus y1. We have that here. Y minus negative 2, basically, because minus negative is a positive. So we have y minus y1 is equal to some slope m is 3 over 4 in this case, times x minus x1. And in this case, x minus x1 is just x minus 0 again. Okay? So that is how you convert from each different form of a linear equation into a different form. These steps obviously work backwards as well. So if you need to go from slope-intercept to standard, you know how to do that. If you need to go from standard to point slope, you know how to do that. So everything is covered here. These steps work both forwards and backwards. And if you're ever confused on how to do it, just take a look at the form, okay, that you need. So let's say you need slope-intercept, see where your y's are, see where your x's are, and see if there's anything being multiplied by those, okay? So in standard form, for example, your x's and y's are on the same side, and all of your constants, that is things that don't have an x or a y attached to it, are on the other side, okay? In point slope form, all of your you have a y times some constant, and then on the right hand side you have x multiplied by some number. And on the slope-intercept, you're already pretty familiar with that, so you know what that's supposed to look like. Your y's are on the left-hand side, your x's are on the right-hand side, and your constants are on the right-hand side. So if you're ever confused, just remember that. Okay? So that's everything for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.